Hey guys, welcome back to Cephalon Cast. So, Virgil, I'm no longer playing that shaman.
Really?
Yeah, I made it to level 50, and looked at some of the changes and how they're not being changed in 8.0 and every other class is, and so I kind of switched to a Discipline Priest, and honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot more, but that was because of the macro that I developed for the shaman. I just took it and moved it over to my Discipline Priest now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I might actually stick with this one.
You might.
I'm gonna stick with this one.
I mean, you've been on the fence for a while about just trying to figure out a class to play, and it is good from what I've seen, at least with an outside perspective. It seemed like you were just so focused on a handful of I want to do this.
Yeah.
Without you didn't want to tank.
No.
And
I still don't want to tank.
Yeah, you still don't want to tank.
No.
And I think last time we talked about it, you mainly wanted to do DPS, but now you're kind of branched off and you tried healing, and I think you like that now.
Yeah. I mean, so I wanted to do a ranged DPS, but a mage wasn't my cup of tea. Tried all three. I don't like arcane because it's a big ramp up, and then you're only in that ramped up version for a little bit, and then you have to innervate and all that shit, and it's no. Tried boomkin, no, don't like that because I'm a big fluffy chicken, and even the celestial form I don't like. A lot of it's
Do you care about how you look?
yes, cosmetic look is a big deal to me, especially in I know we don't role play. We're not on Moonguard or anything, but at the same time, if I don't like the way my character looks, I'm far less likely to play it.
Oh no, I completely understand you, because that's really one of the only reason I play classes. I prefer plate armor over.
Yeah, you like the fantasy of being that character.
Yeah.
So it's you know me, I prefer Draenei. So it's
a little too much.
I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's
that goat penis.
that Draenei Futanari. I don't know, man. It's just it's the fact that they're basically demons. They're essentially demons. They look like demons. They have goat hooves and horns and tails and shit. And it's okay, you're a demon, but it's a good demon. And I'm yeah, okay, I like that. I've liked that since Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
Whenever I first started playing, it was oh, I want to play this class. Why? Because they're blue and they look like nothing else that's in the fucking game.
So would you play the Eridar if they added those guys in?
Oh, for sure. I don't know if they'd end up being priests, but
probably not.
No. I mean, I've told you about my theory of them adding the Eridar in at some point.
Yeah.
Because they already have the models for it. And you could justify making them demon hunters, in my opinion. Because demon hunters, they're not, because they were introduced in Legion, that doesn't necessarily mean that only night elves and blood elves will ever be able to be demon hunters, especially with the lore continuing.
Yeah.
I think eventually you're going to have other races be able to be demon hunters.
Yeah. I think with the shift away from, because Illidan originally made the demon hunters, and the shift away from him with how Legion ended, I could see them trying to open up their ranks a bit more.
Yeah.
The only thing is just I don't think humans are. It would have to be a new race, probably the Eridar.
Yeah.
That could be it, because the
some
Eridar
of the
already
races
have those you. The thing with they didn't drink the demon's blood, and they didn't convert so the current demon hunters did that, and that's how they got their powers.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with an introduction of any new race, because you can go play 2 expansions in the future, right? If you make a demon hunter and it's either a blood elf or a night elf, it's still you basically made your demon hunter, and in this story it's okay, your guy is starting towards the end of BC and then jumping up to Legion.
Yeah.
So it's not, new demon hunters aren't just being added in, it's just that lore still just same thing with the Death Knights. The Death Knights,
like the
Arthas
still...
is the one that raises you, but in the Arthas is gone, right?
Yeah.
Like they haven't changed it to where the new Bolvar is raising up these guys, or even your the Ebon Blades raising them up, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, it takes you back to that point in time when this could have existed. Same with the undead, right? The undead, when you go through their story, is literally immediately after you kill Arthas and Sylvanas has her stuff. So it's, all that is like set in place. So I think if there's the justification for a race that didn't need to go through that and doesn't have the ability to go through that in the future, then it would literally have to be
an allied race that has its
demon.
own. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that.
I'm, knowing Blizzard and knowing the fans, I don't think they're gonna have it much longer with literally like one race from each faction only being able to play it. They'll figure out a way to introduce it, just like whenever we get our next Lich King expansion. I am 100% positive that every race that could not be a Death Knight at this point
will be able to be a Death Knight.
So we will get Panda Death Knights.
Dude, the concept art for that they released was actually like pretty legit.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. I'm trying to think of like. So like the reason that the current demon hunters are only Night Elf and the Blood Elf, it's because they're the only ones that can survive the transformation.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason.
Because if you look at it, like the orcs can't do it. The orcs got corrupted.
Yeah, humans can't do it because it just kills them.
It's yet to be seen if Draenei can do it.
Well, I mean,
Draenei
like,
would convert
the
into
Eredar straight, like there's some of the ones that they just look like the demon hunter transformed, like with the giant fucking wings and all that. It's like they look pretty fucking close already, and we already have the in-game models for that essentially. So it's like, I don't think it'd be that far of a stretch to make Eredar.
Probably not. I don't know when they would add it in, but we could.
I don't know.
With just even opening the door for the allied races with how they did. I mean, there's so many possibilities for it, right? Mm-hmm. Like the one that I'm kind of looking forward to and hoping we get, just based off of the events that took place immediately before DFA, with Anduin's sister, or not Anduin, Arthas' sister, being killed and then brought back as a light undead.
Yeah,
we could probably see that in the future.
I'm thinking, that'd be cool.
Now, whether or not it would be Horde or
so, like the light undead, I would think that would probably be the Alliance side. But
they kind of have to balance out both sides because it's like I mean, people have also kind of pushed for. I know people want the ogres for orcs. Because that was if you trace the there's a couple good videos on it. If you trace the orc like timeline back, it's like they started with the ogres.
Yeah.
Same way with the elves started with the trolls.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting. But we've gotten our Tauren so far. We've gotten the trolls, the orcs. Even though the orcs are kind of the orcs are gonna fall into the same way with the Kultiran humans. It's like, okay, these are just humans from a different area, right? Nothing too big, right? Not like the Nightfall and Void Elves were, where it was like, all right, these are separate than what.
Yeah.
Something had changed them.
You know what I would like to see, and there's a bunch of races that they could end up doing this with, but the Genu from Mists of Pandaria, and the monkeys, because like they already sided with the Alliance and the Horde.
Yeah,
so it's like,
that was brought up, by people in the forums. I mean, we can just hope Blizzard goes forward with it.
Well, I think that's like the next this is just how they're going to add races henceforth.
Because I don't think there's going to be any big new ones that are
that just like, oh, you buy this expansion, you can play as these 2 races. Like it's like how it was in Kata with Worgen and Goblins.
I mean, like pandas were the last ones, and pandas were. I can actually see one more coming up, but like pandas were literally like you couldn't play with it because the amount of pandas that were in like the mainlands were far and few between, right?
Yeah, there was only like a handful of them.
So once this island gets discovered, then that would make sense, but there isn't really anywhere else to go unless we start going off to these different worlds, right?
Yeah. Well, isn't there like a whole other side of Azeroth that we like that hasn't been really discovered yet?
Not familiar with that. Maybe. But the only other one that I can think that we're going to be getting, and why I think it's going to come, I think 2 things are going to come from the next Lich King expansion. It's going to open up all the races to be able to be Death Knights, and we are probably going to get the what are the guys called? Large dudes in the Northern, not the Vrek rule, but the can't think of the names. You have to go kill them in the
Vrykroll are the giant like human.
Are they?
Yeah, it's the Vrykroll. I'm sure we're saying it wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, those guys, like the ones that are in Northern, the big, huge, like Nordic.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Oh, the if you ever watch Belor, yeah, he wants the Tuskar as an allied race. I'm like I could see it, like
I mean, I don't know. At the same time, it's like we don't need to make every race in this game playable.
Well, I mean, like at this point, I'm like, why the fuck not? Like,
I don't want to run around with a Naga.
Why not?
They have no feet.
Like, okay. Like I don't see the issue. Like, I just don't. It's like, oh, they can't equip boots. I'm like, okay. Whenever a Draenei equips boots, they don't actually cover the hooves. It's just like, or trolls, Tauren, like it's just like a covering over their calf. So I'm like, that could just be the end of the tail. Like, I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
I want to play as a fucking Murloc.
That would be amazing.
I want to play as a fucking Murloc.
That should be the next neutral race.
They would have to make that one neutral, because like, if that was like side to like,
people get pissed with gnomes and goblins, like.
Yeah. Well, like, okay.
But at the same time, those guys, if you played that right, your hero has to have some sort of competence to be able to communicate, which Murlocs don't. You get summoned to the capital by Anduin to go do something, and you're just
true.
Like, what was that? Timmy fell down a well again?
I don't know, dude. Like,
we butchered that.
I think we did fine. No, like, I know, like, right now with the allied races, it's like there's one side for the alliance, and they have a very equivalent for the horde. Like, it's like 2. Like, going back to like the pandas, like, why can't we have ones that like just you can side with either one? Like,
yeah,
I could see that coming up.
And they kind of thought about having that branch off from like the panda allied races would have been like the Hosen, and then the what are they called,
the Hosen and the Jinyu.
I literally just thought about something, and this should be like the last race that Blizzard adds in the game before it goes down.
What?
Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to play as a member of the as any of the Dragonflights?
People have been talking about that for a while, like as a playable race.
Because you got Worgens. I mean, like, you wouldn't even have to make it like terribly hard, like or terribly strong, like not on the level of like Alexstrasza, but the normal members of the Dragonflight. It's an interesting concept, but at the same time, it's like, oh, what class would he be? You'd be a dragon. I mean, unless
like that would be like the biggest like translation error, where it'd be like, okay, they're dragons. What class choices do they have?
Unless you could play as like a warrior in your like human or elf form.
Yeah.
Literally, I think any of the races could be Dragonflight.
Yeah.
So you could choose what that wants to be, and then much like, demon hunters have their demon transformation.
Well, okay. It doesn't have to be a race. Then it can just be like a hero class essentially.
Yeah.
Like you just end up being like you're a dragon. Like they have a lot of options. Like I know like more recently like, people have been saying like that like Blizzard's kind of like running out of ideas. I'm like, there's a lot of shit they haven't tapped into yet, and they're already adding more stuff, and like it goes along with the lore and all that.
The people that are saying that Blizzard is running out of ideas, it's just they're reflecting on themselves, saying that, oh, I'm not creative enough to think of anything else that we can add in, right?
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I'm at that point with classes, because I'm trying to think, I'm referencing every other game type that I've played, and been like, what else can we add in that would be a new unique class that isn't going to be stepping into another, like that wouldn't fall into another spec. Like, cool, a ranged demon hunter spec realistically would probably fall more under a warlock than it would unless you went the route of a warden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there are classes like within the game itself that like they're there and they're not. Like I could see them adding like a bunch of like hybrid classes where like it does kind of like mix a couple things together.
I think like so the biggest one right now would be whatever the hell Anduin is, because he's a priest and he's a warrior, which that doesn't translate to a paladin, right? No. Because he was able to do a lot more stuff than a paladin's able to do. Right?
Well, he straight up like in I know what you're referencing. You're referencing the BFA cinematic where he uses Colossal Smash and then like mass res like within the same like 20 seconds. Like that. By the way, can we talk about how good that fucking team is doing the WoW cinematics?
Oh yeah,
like holy shit, they're getting better. They're just better and better and better.
They've been on point. Like it's funny to see how far they've come from using in-game models for the cinematics.
Yep.
Because you go back and you look at the original, like before the Wrath of the Lich King came out, and you saw the intro thing for the Wrath Gate, right? That uses in-game models, and then you kill Arthas, and it's like, okay, now they're going into 3D modeling, and pretty good. But
like, and if they ever come out with another Warcraft movie, I hope they do it completely like how they do the cinematics. I don't want live action people.
No, I've actually over the last couple of days been looking at video clips of it, and the CG's so bad. They would do like their team, because I wonder if it's the same team that produces the Overwatch cinematics.
I think it is. They have a cinematic team that does all of
those guys should be the ones making the movie, because I'd watch an Overwatch movie if it was literally all that same cinematic, and I watch a Warcraft movie if it was like that.
Well, I'm kind of surprised, like you don't really have cinematics come out for Overwatch anymore. I thought that was going to be like an almost like monthly thing, and there's a bunch of heroes
they started doing the backstory for some of the heroes, and then you would occasionally get one for a new hero, but they still haven't finished off a lot of them. I don't know if it's because they're still trying to iron out the story a bit more for certain characters' backstories, or they feel like we can't really make a good enough cinematic for this, or they've shifted their attention away from that to produce. Or if it's the same team, if they're focusing right now on getting BFA cinematics out of the way, which they are, because there's like the starting scenarios in the beta, it skips over cinematics, and it's just like, okay, that's going to be in the game when it comes out, but they're probably trying to iron out all of this and get it back together.
Yeah, I don't know. But is Overwatch still like big?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, no,
I think I just have like that confirmation bias with it, because it's like I stopped playing it.
Yeah, so everyone else stopped playing it.
Like,
it's still pretty big.
Right. Okay.
It's still a fairly I like it. Whenever I feel like going and playing a shooter, that's probably the one I go to, other than like Fortnite.
Okay. Yeah, I just
They're still pushing out
I
content for it.
default to Fortnite just because it's.
I mean, it's just a difference of a game, right? You know, maybe I don't want to do a battle royale. Maybe I just want to.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite has that appeal of just
going in and killing people.
Going in and killing people, and you either do good or you don't. Like it's not like but there's not like a ranking system in it yet, which I'm afraid that they're going to add that. I don't want them to.
So, okay, got on. One of my friends from work was playing PUBG last night, so I hopped on with him. Because the only time I ever play PUBG is I'll play it with him. And his brother is on too, so it was us three playing.
Yeah.
I've not touched this game in a couple months. They pushed out some updates, so now there are challenges.
Yeah, they added a battle pass, right?
Like, there's a battle pass, there's challenges. The new map that literally just came out reminds me size-wise of Fortnite's map. It's a lot smaller than the other two maps. They changed the color in these things to make it like brighter, not as like dry and dark as the other two maps are. I mean, granted, one of them is a desert, so there's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah.
But the other one that is still like wooded and you have houses and stuff, like this one is more closer to being pastel, which kind of reminds me of Fortnite. Like, I don't know.
They're player unknown or whatever the hell the company is behind PUBG. They are killing themselves.
Yeah.
Like with the whole lawsuit against Fortnite and Epic, and it's like, no, like it's not.
I don't know. You're just gonna go back and forth between like, oh, they took it from this, and then one of them is gonna be like, oh, that's a good idea. We'll also put it. Like, I don't know. I don't think both games will be around until battle royales just die out, because you're still gonna have the people that are like, I prefer Fortnite over PUBG, and they're gonna play Fortnite, and then you have the people that are like, I prefer PUBG over Fortnite, and they're still gonna play PUBG.
Well, like one of them is going to win out over the other one.
I don't think it's gonna be a competition between the two.
Well, it's not. Fortnite dominates PUBG.
No.
Both in numbers and revenue that it brings in.
Let me come at it from this perspective, because it's obvious you do not like PUBG and you like Fortnite.
Well, I don't like PUBG because I don't like the developer.
Cool, but you still don't like PUBG.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care for it's not like I don't care for either one. It's like I don't have a preference. It's literally whatever my friends are playing at the time, I'm gonna play that. So as a whole, both games have people playing it. Both games are still going to be pushing out updates. Both games are still going to develop over time. Yeah. As a consumer, I don't care if one is making more money than the other.
Yeah.
Like that comes onto the company, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm in the boat where let's just take, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. World of Warcraft is making way more money than any other MMO could ever hope to make.
Okay, yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that one of these other games, because it has way more subscribers, so you think more subscribers, more popular, better game.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better product. Okay,
because
I see what you're coming.
It does come down to what do you like personally. Like, maybe you have the people that like, I like battle royales. I don't really like Fortnite's cartoony graphics, so I'll go play this.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So in that aspect, until one of them, literally either they shut off support, the game gets closed, or it becomes a dead game.
Yeah. Like
that's when it's like, okay. But in the meantime, it's like both have player bases, both have sure, Fortnite is probably making a bit more money, but I know that PUBG's getting, Mercedes-Benz is sponsoring a tournament with them right now. Like, so they have, in that aspect, I haven't really seen any like Fortnite competitions, and PUBG has this thing on.
Fortnite's done.
But with major backings.
They just did. They did the whole Celebrity Pro thing that just went on like 2 weeks ago. It had like $100 million prize pool.
Yeah,
I think it was that was even for like charity and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to get into it, but the whole drama with Fortnite and PUBG with a whole lawsuit of PUBG suing Fortnite. Like it's going to be more of a financial strain on PUBG, and I don't think they're going to win because they don't have a good case. Like the only thing that they could say, like lawsuit wise, as far as like what I've looked into it, is like a licensee agreement. The fact that PlayerUnknown has the Epic engine, the Unreal Engine license. Like it would be like, okay, Epic Games licensed out the Unreal Engine for them to produce that game, so like they couldn't copy them. Like, and I say that copy in quotation marks, where it's like, because Fortnite and PUBG are not the same game whatsoever. Like
it falls into the same genre.
Yeah, that's all it does. But like the same genre as like Skyrim is a fantasy game, so is World of Warcraft. They're two completely different games.
Yeah, you have similarities between the two, but you also have differences between the two.
Yeah,
I think, it just comes down to, what, play whichever one makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what the companies deal with, how they're doing financially.
Yeah, just play what you like.
Both are still free. You don't have to buy the battle passes. You don't have to buy the skins. You don't have to buy the crates. I mean, when it actually PUBG you have to pay for it.
Yeah,
I just remembered that. It's been a while.
PUBG is not free.
And it's like $20.
It's like 30.
Well, it was 20 when I bought it.
Yeah.
So
you might have got it on sale or something like that.
I got it before it blew up.
Yeah, it's like 30 now.
Dude,
it's still technically in beta.
I bought Minecraft when it was in alpha. And you still had to pay euros for it.
I don't remember ever paying for I don't remember what I paid for it.
It was like $10. But yeah, it's off topic.
That game's old as sin now. Jesus.
Yeah, no, that really is. But all right, you wanna talk about some BFA stuff now?
Sure.
All right. Kind of in line with how you were talking about, you're gonna really give it the good old college try for the Discipline Priest.
Oh yeah, I'm going to try to make Gladiator.
Yeah.
With the Discipline Priest this year, or this coming.
I'm leveling up a warrior right now.
Yeah. You're playing Fury, right?
I'm a mix between Prot and Fury, and it really pains me that Prot's kind of getting the shit into the stick when it comes to tanks and BFA. There's really nothing special about them. They're not going to be standing out.
They're vanilla.
Not even. They were better than vanilla. Like, let's face it.
I mean, like the flavor vanilla, not WoW vanilla.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about vanilla.
They're plain tanks.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, if we're going to talk about vanilla, from what I understand, is if you want a Prot warrior, you're not tanking. But yeah, it's been a couple expansions since Prot warriors have had their moment in the spotlight. They've always kind of been, at least with like, Warlords was fun with the Gladiator spec. Yeah. They took that out because too many people were DPSing as tanks. My guild wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah, you told me about that.
But like Warlords and then Legion and now this, it's like, you look at, depending on what you're trying to do, because I base my stuff off of keys. I don't tank raids, I tank keys. Warriors have kind of been on the lower end, and even then you look at like the leaderboards for keys right now, and you look at the tanks that are pushing the highest keys, and I don't know, it's a bit unreasonable to expect everyone to take that into account, because maybe not everyone wants to play at that level, just like not everyone wants to be at the level of a Mythic Raider, you know? But it's like, okay, well, Demon Hunters are up there. Actually, I'm gonna go pull this up right now. I can guarantee you that this we're probably only gonna see top one, and on this page there are literally Blood DKs and Demon Hunters.
Yep, that's it.
So you fall, like I said, you fall into this
Next
area
page,
where
all blood DKs
Yeah.
and demon hunters.
oh, you have one warrior that's, has
He's
a
in the top
28
50.
upper. Yeah, like,
Yeah. One warrior.
but consistently, it's been like
Jesus.
blood DKs and demon hunters.
Yeah.
And that's just how this kind of falls. Like you have your occasional classes like mixed in, and I think it says more about that player than it does the class, because when you have a
Yeah.
lot of
Sure.
of the same two classes pushing this top one, it's like these guys have an easier time of dealing with it. I mean, let's be honest here. I've dabbled with my blood DK, and it's really not hard or unreasonable to kind of think that these guys don't have an issue pushing that high.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've only seen 3 other tanks other than a Vengeance Demon Hunter and a Blood DK.
Yeah. There was like
And
one Brewmaster.
One Brewmaster, one Prot Warrior, and
like
one
the
Prot
top
Paladin.
200.
Yeah, like so that's where this falls again, though. For me, it's like I would my overall goal is I would like to get to the point where maybe not competing for the top spot, because I don't think I'm that good, but being somewhat competitive and pushing up these higher keys in BFA. But you gotta just kind of play what is able to handle that, and Prot Warriors aren't really able to handle that, at least from what I've seen so far. We'll see. They might get some changes, but other than that, I am playing Fury. The Fury changes look amazing. I don't know if they're gonna be like strong, but it's moving more in that direction of like, oh, you wanted to play slow warrior, play arms, hit big,
Yeah.
you just want to go fucking rampaging, spinning around and cutting people. Like, okay, Fury it is.
Uh-huh.
I was watching, who was it? It was either Preach or maybe Belior talking about the Fury Warrior changes, and because of the you're gonna stack haste, and like your rotation as it is gonna be pretty quick.
Yeah.
God help you if you get hero.
So you're gonna it's essentially going to be like old school Ret Paladin, where like you pop Avengers and couldn't keep up with the fucking rotation.
That was a fun time. I played a Ret back in the end of Warlords.
Yeah.
In HFC, and the 4-piece and the class trinket that you got. As soon as you popped wings, it was like, oh, fuck me.
Can't click the buttons fast enough.
DDR, like give me a. But we'll see how that goes, because I'm still playing my Frost DK as well, in my Prot Paladin. Right now, as it is, I have my Prot Paladin on Horde, and I will tank on that guy, and my Frost DK is on Alliance, and I'll still DPS on that. I might look at Blood. I haven't looked at Blood in beta, so I haven't seen too much how it changes, but I might give that a shot as well. But again, stated in a previous podcast, I will not play a healer. And that's just that responsibility scares me.
I'm kind of I've drifted into my okay, I want to be a healer. But
that phase, like that's kind of what happened with me in tanks, because just like, okay, I want to kind of do something other than damage.
Yeah. Well, I've moved entirely away from melee. Like, just I don't find it fun.
Really?
Yeah. Like, Demon Hunter was like my last go for it, and it was, and
I did
playing
enjoy
the last couple months with the Demon Hunter that I had, and we were getting him geared and everything. I got my first 2 legendaries, and I got the best in slot legendary right away. And it was like, even then, I'm like, that's
going away. So you don't have to worry about that. Oh, interesting thing that I just read with one of the changes with Frost DKs.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the legendaries that you can get, and it was just a DK legendary, because sometimes I saw a couple blood DKs using it, but not too much. So Cold Heart the chest would do it back in, I think, 7.2. It was best in slot. So Chains of Ice, which generally just you use that to slow someone, would like it you would stack that and it'd do a shit ton of AoE damage. So they took that and then they added it in as a talent in BFA. So it's like, oh, the legendary's gone, but I can still use that.
Yeah, you can still use talent.
So it'll be interesting. Do we want to talk about the most promising PvP spec in BFA?
Oh, you're fucking prop paladin.
Oh my god.
So, I appreciate the fact that PvP is getting some love finally.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that it's like kind of, it's not necessarily taking priority, but like it is getting some love. So the fact that like, okay, tanks can be PvP relevant and be very PvP relevant. All right, yeah, I'm not against it, but like on paper it looks so stupidly OP. Like
I love it.
We'll see. Like I agree with Mark where you're gonna have comps solely based around prop paladin.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I'm okay with it. I'm cool for it, but
Well, even then, granted, it's not gonna. So I was reading, right? So if you when BFA comes out, they're getting rid of PvP servers, so every server is just gonna be it's gonna be like either a standard server or an RP server.
Or not.
Yeah, you can turn on.
But you are
PvP.
incentivized on it because you get to keep
your PvP talents.
Yep.
You get to keep your PvP talents, and you get 10% increased XP. I don't know if those talents carry over into like instances. So if you go into a dungeon, I don't think those go with you, just because you no longer run the risk of running into people.
Yeah.
If it did, that would make prop paladins amazing, right?
Yeah.
Having an AoE interrupt and silence, making it so you can heal people when you place hands on them. Like you already have your Blessing of Protection that you can put on people, but like one of their PvP talents is it replaces Guardian of the Ancient Kings and puts it in as Guardian of the Ancient Queen, which lets you cast that on another person.
Yeah.
And they're effectively immune from all damage for I think 8 seconds, 8 or 10.
I think, yeah.
So much utility, right? So before now, whenever I've gone into PvP, you don't run into tanks because
Oh no, like unless you're doing like a flag carrier, and then you might get a like Vengeance Demon Hunter, maybe if you're in a Twin Peaks or some Gulch, like
but just up until now,
Yeah.
it's always been one of those things where it's like damage has a place and healing has a place, but tanks don't really have a place inside of PvP because tanks can't make a player aggro onto them. You know?
Yeah. At any point they just be like, oh, fuck this tank and run away. It's like that's like one of the biggest problems with like blood spec. Like it's like you can't. Your mobility kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So
granted, it's gonna take a lot of people to kill you.
Yeah,
but they might ignore you and just
they can just run away. Like.
Get back here.
It's like you're really good at defending a point once it's captured, but like you're not going to take a point by yourself. Like it's not going to happen. But we'll see.
Yep.
Like well, we're gonna have to see how this pans out. Like I'm interested in the changes, and I'm glad that PvP is getting incentivized.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, we'll just have to see how it actually pans out once everyone's doing it. But
I'm actually probably gonna try out PvP in this expansion.
Yeah.
I've never been one to really be interested in PvP. I wouldn't even say I got into it, but I started playing with you in Myth a little bit, and that was enjoyable.
Just random battlegrounds.
Yeah, and that was enjoyable. Just to kind of break away from the just standard. I'll go try to grind out these things so you have a chance to get a legendary, or go kill this raid boss that you've killed 50 times before. Like, that's also why I did Mythic Plus, is because Mythic Plus has brought in this refreshing Gonna
All
change,
the
right?
asphyxiations and all that.
Yeah, the affixes.
Affixes.
So speaking of Mythic Pluses, we can go into the Mythic Plus changes for BFA. And so far I've seen two. One of them I'm really enjoying. So with the changes to Mythic Pluses, you're gonna have seasonal affixes. So each season you're gonna have your standard affixes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like bolstering and grievous.
That changes weekly.
Yeah, that's going to change weekly, but you're also going to have one affix that's going to be thrown into the mix that's only active for that season.
How much season gonna last?
I'm not sure yet. I think probably they're going to look at like 7 or 8.0 to 8.1, 8.1 to 8.2, 8.2 to 8.3, like seasons like that. I don't think they're going to reduce it down to what the PvP seasons are. They might if they have enough affixes in mind.
I mean, the PvP seasons are pretty long.
Yeah, but who knows? I may have missed that part. The other one that some people like Mark finds annoying, but at the same time the only usefulness for this was because we had legendaries. You are no longer going to be able to change your gear set while in a Mythic Plus. So, like, one of the things was like, oh, let me use, just trying to think here. Like, if I never really did it, but let's say you had a trinket that was really good for, actually, here's a really good example. If I'm gonna run through a high fortified key, like Nelth's Lair, anything past a 15 on my Frost DK, I'm going to be using Prides, because those fucking rock throwers will murder me if I don't have Prides, right?
Yeah.
But I don't need Prides on a boss fight, so I would switch it out to something more useful. Now you have to make that decision at the beginning. Like, do you take the protection so you can live through this and suffer a little bit of damage loss, or do you make it harder on your healer, probably die, just to get that boost and like. So, well, we'll see. Because I'm really looking forward to this. I talked to Mark the other day, and I'm like, I really want to hit the ground running hard with Mythic Pluses. I did not get into Mythic Pluses until 7.3 came out, like when I started playing again. So I want to start out the expansion doing that, and I want to see how far we can get. I think my goal for this expansion is to get invited to the make it into the time trials for the MDI.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna get through the time trials, but
no,
just that invitation. I think he was saying you need like a 22 done for every dungeon, which honestly, with our group, if we had stuck with it, we could have done. I think we were doing good, and then when we transferred factions, that's when we all stopped kind of playing, and then that just kind of fell through. So we'll see. I think if we can just establish this team and establish early on like what roles each of us needs to play, right? Because let's face it, I'm not going to do much as a Frost DK, so maybe I need to look into another class that's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So just a lot of discussion for that.
I mean, like you can't necessarily base everything off of how it is now.
Well, no, but you can base it off of looking at. So, did you know there are people doing like 12s right now in the beta?
No, I didn't know it.
Yeah. So you're starting, like Mark's already starting to get an idea of what good comps are going to be and what you don't play, right?
Okay.
And again, it's really falling back into what we saw here. His thought is that Vengeance Demon Hunters are going to be the top tank for Mythic Pluses. Then you're going to stick with Warlocks, but instead of maybe Affliction, you're going to do Destro. You're going to have Balanced Druids. You're going to have probably Rogues. I don't know what spec of Rogue. Mages. Like your classes that generally do very well.
Yeah.
Not these lower, like, you know, maybe with the exception of like Wrath. I don't know the last time that, you know, Frost DKs were top damage spec.
Yeah. I mean, they do good.
Oh no, you get a good player.
They're like consistently like middle, higher middle, not top.
Yeah.
But
I think if they gave us a bit more utility, then that would make up for it, you know. You know, you look at rogues, ton of utility, and I mean, granted, you trade off you have utility and these guys do a lot of damage, but you know, you're gonna have a harder time playing a rogue than you might with a Frost DK. Or I mean, but then at the same time, marksman hunters are doing very well, and that's 2 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to.
Marksman has like. Marksman has like 4 buttons. Beastmaster only has 2.
You might only hit like those other buttons like once every few minutes.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy I work with. He was playing. He's in the BFA beta, and he was playing the Unholy Death Knight, and apparently your pet does more damage just with its auto attacks than you do ever.
That's probably gonna get ironed out.
Well, I hope so, because that's like, ew.
Yeah,
it really incentivizes killing the pet.
I don't know. I don't really. I don't like Unholy.
I have never liked Unholy. Myth preferred Unholy. Whenever we both played Death Knights for a little bit.
You played Frost for a while, didn't you?
I played Frost. I started with whenever Frost Tank was a thing.
Yeah.
And I was upset whenever it went away, and I was like, I don't want to play Blood.
You were playing Frost when you got sponsored, didn't you?
No. I was on my Warrior whenever I got sponsored.
Arms or Fury?
Arms.
Okay.
Yeah, that was back in the day whenever you could swap on the fly and stuff, and
yeah, you do different stances.
Yeah.
You miss that, don't you?
A little bit. Like the 2 guys I used to play with, I don't think they play at all anymore. But it was our comp was the Turbo Cleave is what it was called. It was the Arms Warrior, Enhancement Shaman, and then Healer, and our Healer was a Discipline Priest.
Okay.
So it was like you just got in and immediately murdered somebody, like pop everything, fucking murder somebody, and then go on to the other one or the healer. But yeah, I miss doing arenas, and I hope that it makes it easier, and I'm sure it'll make it easier now that I'm playing Islam Priest and I'm getting into healing. And with my handy dandy macro that makes it super fucking easy to switch targets on the fly and all that, like it's I hope I can actually get somewhere with this upcoming expansion in the next season. But yeah, we'll have to see. Like I just need to dedicate myself to the class.
Just make up your mind and go for it.
Well, like, okay, well, I've been steadily like chipping away like what I wanted, what I didn't want, and it's like, okay, I've narrowed it down to Priest, Discipline. So,
yes.
and the fact that atonement's a thing, and you bubble someone, and now all the damage I take is gonna, or all the damage I deal is going to, passively heal that guy. It's like, okay, like it makes sense. But if I hadn't figured out my macro that I used on my shaman,
you would not have liked it.
I would not have liked it. I wouldn't have liked it at all. I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But
let's see if you can get sponsored again.
I don't know if I'd be that that was we were on 12s. I was on a 12-hour schedule at that point.
Yeah.
So I had full days off where I had nothing else to do but to play WoW. So it was like I had time to do it. Now it's kind of like I have to keep up with it. And, we also have Warframe to play. We got to get back into Dauntless. Like,
now
the Fortnite season's going to be ending in a couple weeks, and the next season's going to come up. It's like I'm going to have to do that. And, like,
well, we can be a variety.
Oh, well, definitely. Like, but I can only, like, keep myself contained to
focus.
like 6 games at a time, and even then, like that's
a
like
lot.
I'm favoring
One over the other.
Yeah, over the other 5.
Yeah, like I'll be honest. After I did Sacrifice, I haven't really felt the need to jump back into Warframe.
So like I'm playing on that account that I'm trying to make that YouTube series off of, right? So I'm almost at the like I think I'm at like day 29. So like next time I log into it, it's day 30. Like I already said like okay, first month get that down, and then be like okay, make an opening video of like here's your first 30 days of Warframe. Here's what to expect. You know, whatever. You can beat my progress by a lot. I only made it to Sarah's, whatever. But
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like Warframe, for like I'm still excited about Tentacon. I fucking loved Sacrifice. I love where they're going with the game. But yeah,
I don't know. I think it's just focus. I'm too focused right now on trying to level up my my warrior.
Yeah,
that's warriors. I do have one.
Yeah.
Horde and Alliance.
Oh, you're trying to level both of them?
I might go level the other one as well. Like right now, I'm focusing solely on the Alliance one right now, just because I have my tank over on Horde.
Yeah,
but I might go back and if anything, I will go back and level that just because I love the Gladiator Warfront armor for the Horde.
Yeah,
looks amazing. I might race change to the Magdar Orc though. It's an undead warrior right now.
Okay.
Although those guys have kind of a special place in my heart.
Well, the undead warriors?
Yeah, I like that. Especially like as a tank. I don't know what it is about that. I like that.
Okay.
Like a skeleton with a shield that's gonna fuck someone up.
Okay.
Just like I was very, very, very tempted to go with a gnome fury.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I've transmogged the stuff to Armageddon, the large two-handed sword you get out of Naxxramas. Yeah, I mean, and it's like 5 times the size of your gnome, and you just carry around 2 of them, and you're just like, this is hilarious. Like,
they're clipping into the ground behind you.
Almost as hilarious as a gnome tank would be, but I still can't bring myself to play that.
Yeah, like I should like the gnomes a lot more than I actually do, but I can't stand the way that they look.
I mean, and again, that comes down to like armor for me. Like, I would literally play a gnome. Like, once prot becomes prevalent again, I might just make a gnome prot warrior. But the armor just doesn't look that good on them.
Oh, it's like because the headpiece is always oversized.
Yeah,
right? Like it doesn't match the rest of it. Like, and I get it, it's because they're gnomes, but
yeah,
like,
no monk.
No monk.
It's strange. Every gnome that I see is a caster. I don't.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't even see gnome rogues.
Oh, I feel like just having a gnome melee, like
it just doesn't.
You could like lose it in like the heat of battle, like not know where you're standing and shit. It's like you're really zoomed in on your character.
Just get kicked. All they have to do is
get punted.
Yeah. Just like I've seen one gnome Death Knight. That's been weird. Yeah. What do you think
I used to play a Goblin Death Knight at one point.
I do like goblins. It's for me. I mean, up until they released the Magdar Orcs, because they're not hunched over anymore. My go-to for melee have been undead and goblins. I made my just DK blood elves. At the same time, that was more so for Arcane Torrent.
That rage was really good.
It's still gonna be pretty decent. Like, yeah, you're not gonna have that mass interrupt anymore, but you're gonna have a mass almost it's not a dispel, but it's a kind of cleanse. Yeah. So you can take away a positive aura or a positive buff on an enemy. Yeah. So that'll be very useful. Yeah. Just not in the same context as it was with the silence. Yeah. Or the interrupt. you know, really, really good in Mythic Pluses. You'd run in and just like, oh, these guys are all casting at once. It'd be a shame if someone interrupted all of them. But no, we'll see. I would expect we probably have maybe 2, maybe 3 more weeks before the pre-patch. With that's my guess anyway.
Yeah.
And probably once the pre-patch comes out, I would imagine they'd close the beta. So any other changes that they're gonna be making, it's gonna come over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Before, just have to get into the expansion.
So how realistic is it for me to level my Disc Priest up and then also unlock Lightforged Draenei with it?
You will be playing that into... Okay, so...
Because we got like a little less than 2 months at this point.
Yeah, you get maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. So the issue is not going to be leveling. Leveling, you could honestly 2 weeks.
Yeah,
max,
knock that out.
depending on what you want to do. Like, if you solely go into dungeons and knock that out, you can get that done a lot quicker than you probably could with questing. However, once you go to try to unlock the Lightforged Draenei, you're gonna have to start from scratch with that one.
Well, no, like I'm not gonna level.
No, I'm not saying you're gonna. I'm saying like for the rep.
Oh, for the rep. Yeah.
Once I got onto Argus, and I was doing the world quest. And
I still might just boost
weekly.
the fucking priest at this point.
I mean, you might.
Like, I'm like almost 30 or something like that. Like I have the gist of it, and
Yeah.
like again with my macro, like I already looked at my spells and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be on this macro with this other spell and like all this shit. So it's like I'm fairly confident I could probably just like boost it and do fairly well. I might actually do that today.
I would say you're probably gonna look at about 3 weeks for the
3 weeks.
Because I mean, it's a rep grind at the point. You're gonna have a achievement that you have to get, but you get that for going through just go through all the Argus quests.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of do all the world quests, because at this point it may have only been. Now that I think about it, it was probably about a month for me, but I wasn't. This was before they announced the what's it called, the allied races, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was constantly running the invasions. Not I would do the greater invasion every week, but I was running the normal invasions anytime they came up because it was a good way to get legendaries. I did knock out Lightforged before I knocked out Void Elf. Yeah, I would honestly think maybe 3 weeks to a month. Good thing about that one though is because you're gonna be leveling up for the actually what faction? Let me look up the faction real quick. The Lightforged have like or not the Lightforged, the Army of the Light. In their shop, they have a very, very, very useful item. It's like 40 or 50k, but it's a permanent augment rune.
Okay.
I think you have to hit Revered with them to get it. So, and the thing is, you're gonna be leveling up both, right?
Yeah.
Because all the quests you're gonna do is they're gonna reward both reps. The weekly quests give you 1,000 rep for each one. You will, from just doing the invasions, you will get the rep tokens for it. If you can get your order hall followers up, then you can also get the tokens from that. You can also get at least I believe you can get the rep tokens from the Kirin Tor weekly. Because
Yeah,
how you choose that, I believe you can get it, but it's not going to be the normal 1500. It's going to be like the 750. That same with like the Nightfallen. Yeah, Nightfallen on the other end. That was annoying to me to get that.
I mean, if I don't get it by the time BFA launches, I'll just end up going back and doing that like as I grind into BFA. I'll just back and forth.
I know you want your
I want my Lightforged Draenei, dude.
I want to say it's your Gussian Reach.
No, the Augustian Reach is the Void Elf.
Is it?
Yeah, the Army of the Lights for the Lightforged Draenei. I do know that. But yeah, it's like you need to have you were prepared.
I wish it would show me in here, in which it's not. It's like, oh, you have. No, that's after you get the fucking. Yeah, actually, you're probably right. I think it is the Army of the Light.
Yeah.
Yep, Army of the Light. But I will say, one of my favorite characters in this game comes from unlocking the the Lightforged Draenei.
What's his name?
Departos.
Departos.
God bless Departos. Oh, no, my bad. Light bless Departos.